Hello, Entangled teen fans. We are super excited to be back with you on this fine Friday afternoon. And we have four fabulous Entangled teen authors here to chat live with you. Without further ado, we're going to start some introductions and kick this off. Today with us, we have Golden Heart winner and author of the Origins Unknown series, Pamela Varnado. Pamela is known for riveting fiction focused on family and social issues, and her upcoming Own Voices novel, Looking for Grace, is sure to captivate all of you coming this October 2022. Hi, Pamela.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
And also with us, we have Sharina Harris, whose contemporary romance novel under her pen name Rena Gray were voted into the 100 must-read rom-coms by Book Riot. Her debut novel with Entangled Teen is titled Soul of the Slayer, and it's slated for winter 2023. It'll definitely have you all wishing you could live out your vampire slaying fantasy. Hi, Sharina.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be here.
And next up, we have our fan favorite Entangled author who always gives us the best happily ever afters, just like in her phenomenal novel, Adorkable. We have Cookie O'Gorman. Her upcoming Own Voices novel, Cupcake, will have your teeth aching from the sweetness on the pages on November 2nd, 2021. Hi, Cookie.
Hey.
And of course, we would be remiss without saying that we have Marlene Perez, the author who gave us what BuzzFeed calls one of the 10 best books to sink your teeth into after Midnight Sun. She's the author of the best-selling Dead Is series, and we are super excited that you can take a bite out of the second book in her exciting Afterlife series, I'm With the Band, coming so soon on October 5th, 2021. Hi, Marlene.
Hi.
We're going to start out with some author chat, some reader questions. And the first thing we want to talk about is readers love to know a little bit about your writing life. So we want to talk to you about what your writing environment is like. Do you have an office? Do you write from the comfort of your couch? Do you listen to music? We just want to hear a little bit about your process. I think we'll start with Marlene.
Well, I write wherever I can. I kind of have an office, but since virtual learning was happening last year, that office has kind of been taken over. But I write by hand. I write on my laptop. I write when I'm like in the pickup line waiting for my kids. Like I just write everywhere. But I really do like to write with music. So I definitely have a soundtrack. I just did a guest post for Teen Librarian Toolbox, and I talked about like how I create a soundtrack for every novel I write, and then that kind of helps me no matter where I'm at get it back into that world if I'm, I have 10 minutes to spare.
Can you give us a little sneak peek to something that was on your playlist for I'm With the Band?
So if you haven't read the series, all of the
Oh, we got a little pause with Marlene. We'll jump back to you, Marlene, as soon as we have you back on video.
I can hear you. I just can't see you guys.
Oh, perfect.
Good for you.
There we are.
Yay.
I just had to tap a button. So anyway, the three titles are all based on song titles, the titles of the Afterlife trilogy. So the first one is The Afterlife of the Party. The second one is I'm With the Band, BANNED, but it's a riff on a country song called I'm With the Band. So I love that song. And I'm not usually a big country fan, but I listen to a lot of bro country during writing of this book, and I listened to a lot of Taylor Swift and Dolly Parton. Those are the three that I really can say I love for this one. And for Afterlife, I did listen to like, a little emo, a little ragey rock, all of that stuff. And
That's
you can
so awesome.
see the soundtracks are on Spotify. There's links in the Teen Librarian Toolbox guest post, and it has all of the songs that I listened to for the first two books, not the third one because I'm not done with that book yet.
That's so awesome. Sharina, how about you? Can you tell us a little bit about your writing environment?
Oh, yeah. So similar to Marlene, I have a soundtrack as well. So it's good to hear. And I have it on Spotify too. So I like to set the scene. So I like to have my music. I like to have my candles. I'm so dramatic. I have like lighting. It has to be, everything has to be perfect. It has to be like Slayer mode, vampire mode. And I do have an office as well. So usually when the family is asleep, or at least my son is around 8 o'clock, I'll just get started and go for 3 or 4 hours. But I love my space, and it's taken me a few years just to get everything, and I could just zone right in and just get into writing mode.
Yeah. Do you write in an office or from the couch or?
Oh yeah, definitely an office. So I have, fortunate enough to have like my own office, downstairs. So just enough space, and has like windows, and the light comes in during the day. And again, dramatic at night. I have my candles and have the smells, and I have the light, and it's really, really nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cookie, how about you? Tell us a little bit about your writing environment.
Okay, so I'm a couch person. Usually just go from the couch. And I like complete silence. So I don't listen to anything. I'm really easily distracted. So yeah, but I do have book playlists also that I do, and I usually do this like after the book. But I'll usually have like one song that's like the main one, for the book, and then I'll build off of that.
Are you willing to share the one song for Cupcake? Or is it too early to give that kind of sneak peek?
Well, that one was actually, I had several. So that one was the one that I was like, I like, what is that? I Want You to Want Me by Cheap Trick.
Yes.
And then I also there's another one that ILY by Surfa Mesa or something. It's like that I Love You Baby one,
Yeah.
but it's a riff off of that. Like, I don't know. And then I also like Ingrid Michaelson's The Way I Am, which was also for Adorkable. So strangely enough, I mean, it went with both of it.
That's such awesome insight.
Mm-hmm.
Pamela, how about you? What does your writing environment look like?
I'm more like Cookie. I have to have silence. Every now and then someone will pop in and that just automatically pulls me out of the story. I do have music that I turn on every now and then so that I'm not sitting for 6 or 7 hours straight. So I'll put on some music, which is normally a soundtrack from a K-drama that I'm watching, because I love K-dramas. And I'll get up and dance a little bit, and then I'll sit back down. But I do have to be in my own little space, my own little head, and not have anything to distract me.
That's wonderful. I think what we're going to do next is talk a little bit with Sharina about Soul of the Slayer. We are super excited for this book, and I know it's a little early, but we are just ready to hear a little bit about the story. Can you give us any sneak peeks?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm an open book, so I hope I don't get in trouble. So I'm going to tell you everything, all the spoilers. No, but so if you're a fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, just think of like if Buffy was in college and discovered that she's a Slayer. So it kind of combines my love of Buffy with the anime Full Metal Alchemist. My Slayers in my world is based in contemporary in Atlanta, but they use alchemical formulas and powers to fight vampires. So my protagonist, Raven, is pretty much, attacked and yanked out of college. So she's a fish out of water. She's very sarcastic. I love her. She's kind of me, but not. And, she just talks crap and, stakes Slayers,
Yeah.
Talking crap and killing people. It's a wonderful thing.
Carla is chiming in to tell us that she loves the name Soul of the Slayer.
Thank you, Carla. I appreciate it.
And we have Brittany asking, everybody wants to know, who is your favorite Buffy character? Would
it be too? I'm torn between Willow and Buffy, and I know it's like, yo, it's the main character, of course, but I'll go with Buffy. I love her snarkiness, and I love like the levity that she had. Like she was teenager saving the world, but she just had this, this lightness about her, despite the dark. So she was the light in the dark, and I, absolutely loved her as a main character.
We've got a vote for Willow as well from Heather.
Yeah, I love Willow. I love she kind of you know what? Let me take it back because I can go on and on. She angered me when she went all dark witch a little bit. It's like, come on, come back. But yes, she is like a close second for sure. Her character was just very well done. Very well done.
So just as a follow-up question, why vampires for you, Sharina?
Without sounding weird. That's my first thought. Like, what can I say without sounding weird? I don't think there's I don't have an answer for that. But I will say that I've been pretty drawn to it. I like I like that we give just complexity to notoriously dark character. And I've been reading vampire books well before I was supposed to. Like I really got into like Anne Rice and like reading her tomes. And I just love this. I love the diversity in there and some of the topics that she included. I just love being immersed in that world. I love the different powers, but it's just really like the interpersonal relationships that they have with humanity. They want to be detached, but they're not, and they get pulled in. So, I can go on and on and on, but that's what I love about it. It's just, I love a good gray, morally gray character, and vampires seem to really straddle that line.
Oh, absolutely. And Heather lets us know that if loving vampires make you weird, then there's a whole lot of us with you.
Awesome. I love it.
And you know who we know.
Yeah. Yes.
And you know who we know is with you is Marlene Perez.
Yes.
So Marlene, what is it about vampires for you?
Well, I think that I heard this story once about Darth Vader. And George Lucas was saying the reason kids love Darth Vader is not because he's evil, but because he's powerful. And I kind of feel that that's like the thing about vampires too, especially like I was a weird little kid and I liked vampires at a very young age as well. And so that's like it's more about power, I think. And also, I just have always loved like the supernatural of give me all the werewolves, give me all the vampires, give it all to me. And like Sharina, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer was really more inspirational. I read all of the Anne Rice books. Probably I have 11 older siblings, and so one of my older siblings loved this show called Dark Shadows. And so like I was in kindergarten and she was watching it. I blame her as she was babysitting me. And so like I just think there's always been that attraction. I tend to like my vampires to be the ones that you want to kill. Although I'm definitely Team Angel in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I think that Spike and Buffy, that was really squicky, and I really wish they would have never gone there. I know there are a lot of Team Spike people out there, but I think it was like the grossest thing ever. And if you think back, there was like a whole theme about consent in that season, consent with Spike and Buffy. And there's a little bit of like that reflected in the Afterlife of the Party about how vampires compel their, in my case, the vampire band compels their fans. And that whole notion of, right and wrong and who are the monsters and all that, it's really fun.
Isn't that the best question? Who are the monsters?
Yes. Who are the real monsters?
So just to follow up on that, everybody just loved Afterlife of the Party, and we're excited for I'm with the Band. But what is the most fun part about writing the Afterlife series?
Killing the vampire. It's really fun. It's really satisfying. And I also really like the friendship between Skylar and Vaughn and Tansy. Tansy's the main character. Skylar's her best friend, and Vaughn is her friend / love interest. And I really like how they're like, I always say there are rainy day friends and there are sunny day friends. And like they're rainy day friends, they'll do anything for each other, even when, it's rainy. It's a rainy day. It's not like all just sunny days. And then I think there's like this whole thing about like girls just going to a party to have fun, and then like terrible stuff happens. You're not expecting to meet a vampire as you're, going to hear a band. So I like all of those. Those are my favorite things about writing the trilogy, and killing vampires.
It's just such a fun series. Such a fun series.
Thank you.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit and talk to our contemporary girls. Cookie, we'd love to talk to you about Cupcake, and we're going to start with a super fluffy question. But readers want to know, in honor of the cupcake, what is your favorite cupcake flavor?
Oh, my favorite cupcake flavor is actually, it's called Bow Tie, and it's dark chocolate, kind of. It's really good. So I really like that one. And then another one is the salt and caramel. I like that one too.
Yum, yum. What would Ariel's favorite cupcake flavor be?
She's stunned in his excitement.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry.
That's okay. I think we lost you. Did you have a favorite cupcake flavor for Ariel?
Oh, actually no. She never met a cupcake she didn't like.
So in the book, Ariel is a total movie buff. Which movies inspire you, Cookie?
I definitely like a lot of teen rom-coms, but just in general, the movies that end happy. Like, I don't like sad endings, so I think real life is sad enough. So I want like the happiness in the end to prevail,
Absolutely. And then we know that Cupcake is an Own Voices novel. What does it mean to release an Own Voices novel for you?
Well, for me, Stacy asked me, she's my editor, she asked me if I wanted to do an Own Voices. And so I had to think about, like, who do I relate to, in this way that I can write about. And so I wanted to do a body positive book about a plus size girl who just happens to be nominated to her homecoming court, and what all that would entail for her, like, and what that would mean for her. And it's not a downer. Like I said, I like happy. So it's absolutely like girl power, and the girls empower each other in the story. There's a swinny guy who starts out a little, I don't know, but then he's like, ah. So, but that's what it means to me, I guess. I wanted to write somebody who, again, has maybe she may be like a little bit overweight, considered overweight by society, but she loves herself as she is, and she's happy. So.
It's such an important message. So we'll lighten things up again because Heather has a burning question that I think we all can answer. And her important question is lots of cupcake frosting or minimal cupcake frosting? How about you, Pamela? How do you like your cupcakes?
Well, vanilla is my favorite flavor, and I have to have cream cheese on the top. That's my my go-to. Anything sweet, I'll take. It's my weakness.
How about you, Sharina? Do you have cupcake preferences?
Yeah, I love like the different kinds of flavors. Like we have a lot of great cupcake shops in Atlanta, and I love like the Oreo and cookies, and then the red velvet. So I just, anything that I can't just get from the store, and I just like to have like equal amount of frosting with every scoop. So I try to like spread it out. Again, I've established I'm weird, so
there's like a cupcake method for Sharina.
Yeah, a little bit. I say, and then someone's gonna find me just one day.
Marlene, how do you like your cupcakes?
Any way I can get them. I like it all. I really like salted caramel too. My husband is a really, really good like home baker, home chef. So he makes really good like salted caramel or any like I'm really picky about chocolate cake for like the cupcakes. It's dry like in a lot of places, but when my husband makes his chocolate cupcakes, they're not. So I love my husband's chocolate cupcakes.
This chat is making me hungry now.
Yeah.
I know. And Jessica is with Cookie and Marlene. She says, give me all the salted caramel things.
Mm.
So Pamela, let's talk a little bit about looking for grace. You've traveled and moved a lot in your life, and you've had such rich experiences with people of other cultures and other environments. How have those experiences helped you better understand people as they relate to your characters?
Well, one of the things that I discovered is that no matter where you are at on the globe, put a pin in it, there are universal problems that we all face. And it's across, race, color, political views, no matter what. There are issues that we all deal with. And I chose to deal with mental illness and looking for grace. It's something that's dear to my heart. My daughter suffers from mental illness. And I also, as a teen, I was diagnosed with depression. So it's something that I can relate to, and, the hopelessness of it and how society views it. And, where do you go for help? Who's there to help you? And so I tried to touch all of those issues in looking for grace as she goes to, try to find, answers, and where are they, and how does it, what role depression plays in her life as far as how it can steal her courage away. But one of the things that I love about writing her is that she is very courageous. She's not a quitter. She always stands up. Friends are everything to her, and she finds her strength through helping other people. And that's how, she maneuvers through the story. And it was very something that I say it's the fastest book I've ever written, you know, because it just flowed out of me so easily. And I, my daughter, like I said, I know that how hard it is. I know the hopeless part that comes along with, mental illness. But like Cookie, the book is not a downer, you know. It's very uplifting, positive, because we're not just one-sided. We're, multifaceted, and even people that are depressed, there is always the other side to them. So it was a joy writing this story.
This is our Entangled teen readers' first chance to really meet you, Pamela, and learn a little bit about Looking for Grace. Can you tell us a little bit more about the storyline?
I don't want to give anything away. That's what I'm afraid of.
No, I understand. This is definitely teaser territory.
Yeah. I mean, there's something for everyone. There's a good-looking, drop-dead, gorgeous guy. You'll love him, Jabari. He's every girl's dream. And he's kind of the bad boy football player, but with the beta heart. He's there for her. And she has multitude of friends that are, they have each other's back, and each of them are quirky in their own way. And Grace's relationship with her family is, they're grieving the death of her brother when the story opens. So that automatically sets the mood for, this story, and makes it even harder for someone that's dealing with mental illness to try to pull themselves up and move ahead. But it's a story that shows the relationship of family, of church, what role the church plays in, and community, because these are all the places that we interact with every day. So they're a big part of our lives. And it's how Grace goes through these, and the ups and downs, the good and the bad, and how she manages to come out of it still maintaining some positive, because she's a searcher. She's always looking for a way to overcome. And that's writing her character arc. I really loved.
Was this book cathartic for you, Pamela?
Yes, it was. You know, I always wanted to tell my life story. So it's while I don't relate to all the problems that Grace had with her mental illness, I can relate to the hopeless feeling of it. And you know, writing fiction, it kind of allows you to do it without making it about me. Oh, this is my, tragedy. So it was a safer place to write about the subject. But I think that it's, depression with teens today, it's something that's, they deal with. And so, if my book gives one teen the courage to speak up and say, hey, I need some help, you know, that's a win for me.
Yes.
So it was just, very, very uplifting. It's an uplifting story. And I hope that, my readers will come out of it with new insight into how depression affects you, and also where they can go if they need help.
Yes. Jessica chimed in to say that it sounds like Grace would be praising Simone Biles this week for choosing herself and her mental health.
Yes. And when I read about Simone, it was just, wow. I'm just so happy that people are speaking out about this subject, whereas for so long it's been, something it was easier to say. It almost seems like people would accept you more if you said, I have a broken arm, versus I suffer from depression.
Right.
So I'm glad that people are finally speaking out about it, because, and the book touches a little on suicide, and that happens more than we like to think about, especially with teens today.
It's so incredible that important novels like Looking for Grace can be such a lifeline for teens now as well.
Yes, it
finding
is.
themselves in these stories.
And that was my intention to, I've always been like a protector of the underdog. So that it was my intention in writing this story, that it would, it would speak to my readers. And even though it's a young adult, people of all ages will enjoy this story. It'll speak to everyone.
It's funny that you just said that, Pamela, because Christina Corley just chimed in and said that she knows Looking for Grace is a young adult title, but it sounds like a book that she's going to enjoy as an adult as well. You both chimed in at the exact same time talking about how wonderful this book will be for readers of all ages.
And it definitely will. It crosses barriers, because as we know, mental illness has no age limit. So it's an important book. Yeah. And it's, and it's, now it's the time to get the story out and encourage people to speak up.
Well, readers are chiming in how beautiful it sounds, and we're all really looking forward to its release. We're just really excited.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about research and inspiration. So we've talked a little bit about inspiration, but Sharina, did you have to do any special research for Soul of the Slayer, like to write a fight scene or to make something realistic? Like, of course, we're in a fantasy world, but what does research look like for you?
Ooh, research is a combination of literally going through documents. So, there's a lot of resources out there for alchemy. The big bad in my story is I don't know if I can spoil this, but he is a historical figure. And so I read his biography, and documentaries are very, very, very impactful. And I actually, because this is a series, I booked a trip to Egypt in 2019. And so I was able to go there and do a lot of research. And we actually hired Egyptologists and to go around and help us and guide us and add just some more academic depth to that. So I did a ton of research just to make sure everything is legit. It felt like almost like researching from a historical perspective. From like a fight scene perspective, I get a lot of inspiration from movies, from anime, from other stories as well. And there's tons of great books out there, especially young adult fantasy. It's just like I have so much fun. I have to like pull myself back and like sit down and write. So I would say all of those things culminated and helped guide me into to write this story and hopefully write it well.
Yeah. So I'm always curious about this. When you write an action scene or a fight scene, how do you choreograph that? Do you see it in your mind? Do you act it out? Like how does that work for you?
Sometimes I get my husband and I'm like, stand here. And I'm like, that's the basics. But no, I'll act it out. Not everything, because I can't do alchemy from my hands, but I will act some things out and kind of block those scenes. And then there are a lot of great like writing craft books out there. One is called Fight Like a Girl, something I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's really, really, really good. And so I get a lot of inspiration for that. And then other genres, like I know, like absolutely do YA fantasy, but there's so many other genres out there. Romance too, that has a lot of good, fighting sequences and whatnot. So I take a lot of inspiration from that as well. But I'm more visual when I see a fight scene. So I really like to just zone in on, blocking it out with my husband or my kids' teddy bears. And also, looking at movies and things of that nature. Yes.
Yeah. Well, Jessica says she's dying, and what a good hubby.
He is. I told him he'll get into like the thank yous and acknowledgements, stuff like that.
Brittany wants to know if you use any vampire or slayer type media as inspiration. You mentioned manga, right?
Oh, yes. So, well, anime, yes. So I do look at that. So, like I said, Full Metal Alchemist was great. My Hero Academia, Attack on Titans. So I look at those. They have like the best fight sequences, and they're not so creative and not limited to, I love movies, but it's just not limited. You can do so much more with animation. You can get a lot more inspiration. So yeah, absolutely, I'll do that. And then sometimes I'll take like the characters and create little Pinterest boards. What I'm starting to do more now on my Instagram, if I have like my work in progress, I have like a little, channel for that, if you will. And I just post pictures, and every so often if I'm feeling stuck, I'll look on my Pinterest board, or I'll look on my Instagram and just kind of take a look at some of those inspirations.
So what you're telling us is if that readers want a sneak peek, they should scope your Instagram.
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, you'll see lots of Buffy and some other works in progress that I have. But yeah, absolutely, my Instagram would be like the best place to check it out. At Sharina Writes, you want to check it out? Yeah,
awesome. Marlene, how about you? Was there a lot of research involved in writing the Afterlife series?
Especially the Afterlife of the Party, because I don't recommend that you research your favorite band and how they treat their fans, because they may not be your favorite band anymore after you're done researching it.
Oh no.
Don't type the word groupie into the internet search engine and find out all the terrible things that guys in bands have done. And I also I love music, but I'm not musical at all. I can't sing and I don't play an instrument. So I actually had to do a lot of research about drumming and how big are drumsticks, and could you really, not to give anything away, but stake someone with a drumstick, or just stuff like that. Really how does a band work, and what kind of gigs do you get if you're not a well-known, musical group, just stuff like that. And then, of course, so I love music and I love to buy vinyl. So every time I bought a new album, my husband, I was like, it's research. It is. or
sounds like
a
you
book.
have a good
And
hubby
same,
too,
same,
Marlene.
yeah, it's like, and I think you you get your sources from a lot of different places. And so same thing with like when I was trying to figure out if something was physically possible, I would, kind of try to play around with it and see by not always using my children, but sometimes I would say, "Come here."
Absolutely.
There's plenty of fight scenes going on right now. They're 13, so I'm just kidding.
Do you do the same
Not
with
really.
Sharina? No fight scenes with the 13-year-olds?
What's that?
Do you do similar to Sharina, Marlene? Do you do Pinterest boards or
I
visual
do.
inspiration?
I do Pinterest boards, and I usually I keep them locked until the book is out because I like to share it, but like when I'm in the middle of it, like I just want to put stuff in there because I may not even use it. And a lot of times I don't even use it, but it's a good place to keep research or like, what your character looks like or what houses. Like I love that. Like you can get some great visuals because everybody doesn't live in the same kind of house or like, Afterlife set in Southern California, where I live, but that doesn't mean I've been into every single kind of house there is. And so I did a lot of Zillow. I would look at houses and like, oh, I need a bungalow in Huntington Beach, and then I would do stuff like that. So yes.
How about you, Cookie? Inspiration for Cupcake. Did you have to do a lot of research or a lot of inspiration boards for your book?
I don't think as much for like vampires and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't have to read because it's like, it's just teens. But I would say like my inspiration for my book also with the own voices was an actual movie back in the 90s. It was called Angus. It's like a cult classic, but probably nobody knows it but me. I don't know. But it was about an overweight boy who gets nominated to homecoming court. And then everything that's, goes on with that. So that was definitely my inspiration for that. But as far as researching, I tried to research like homecoming because I wanted to make it more involved than like just, oh, you're nominated and then you walk out and get some flowers and then we're done, like. So I put like a lot of different things in there that I thought might happen in like a small town. Actually, it is set in Georgia. So Honeycomb, Georgia. Fake place, not real.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to get to try to think about all these things that they might have to make it traditional and like special there. So
Absolutely. And do you use visual representation like a Pinterest board or an Instagram spread?
I don't. I have an Instagram. I'm still trying to figure out sometimes. But I don't actually use. It took me a long time to realize that other authors did that they got pictures and then used those to help them do descriptions because usually I don't even know what my characters look like. That's like the final thing that I put in because I usually want people to be able to picture whoever they want for that character.
Yeah.
Usually, especially for the guys, I just want them to be able to picture their romantic interest as however they would like to see them. So anyway, but I do try to add that now. Stacy actually worked with me on that a little bit. I was like, oh, okay, I need to describe these people. Awesome.
Yeah. So we have to ask you a question, Cookie, about that gorgeous cover. Like Cupcake has just the most stunning illustrated cover that we have ever seen. We just love it. How was the cover process for you, seeing Cupcake come to life right on the cover?
That was pretty awesome. And yeah, Elizabeth Turner Stokes is the person who did the cover, and she just did amazing. I love like the dip, like there's a dip, that they're in, that's the pose. And she just captured that so beautifully. And then the movement of the dress, I was just like, ugh. But yeah, she worked really hard on that cover and to get it like just right. And I really think she hit the nail on the head with that one. I've heard people say that it looks like a movie poster, and I think that's awesome because I love movie posters. I love movies. So I was like, yes.
Yes. Readers, if you haven't had a chance to check out that cover, it's just stunning. It's online now. You can take a peek at it. It's gorgeous. Pamela, how about you? What did research for looking for Grace look like?
Well, I didn't have to do the vampire. I didn't go that angle either. So, lucky for me, even though I love those stories. It was more of just setting the mood. So I do have a lot of, I did find like um, pictures of storms. And that's when, when Grace is more in a down mood, that's what I would use for motivation. And then I had, pictures of on the beach, sunshine. So I made sure I had a contrast of, happy, sad, bright, dark. And I use through the book there, the maze is a metaphor. So um, for my depression, for my character's depression. So that was, I made sure I had this giant image of a maze that was posted right over my, just to keep me in the mood of where the struggles that she had to go through. And then I also post little notes for myself. Like one of them said, depression is not just feeling sad, and that was something that I wanted to make sure that people understood. Just feeling sad is not always depression.
Yeah.
Everyone feels sad. Depression is something totally different. So I just made little notes for myself, and very visual, dark, light, and just trying to stay in the right mindset by um, sometimes I would, if I found myself writing something that was a little darker, I would have to step away and go and call my daughter or talk to my husband or, my sister. So it was just important to make sure that I took care of myself when I was writing this because the subject is so, deep. But it was very, very fulfilling, and the research wasn't a challenge at all. I wanted to portray depression correctly. So I did do some research on that, that side. And I talked to a psychiatrist friend of mine that I know, and she helped me to make sure that I was putting it right on the page, even though it's something that I dealt with my daughter and I deal with myself. I still wanted to make sure that it was right.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, I think I want to ask a fun question. I hope I'm not putting y'all on the spot here, but I want to know if your lead character had to choose a social media platform, what do you think they would gravitate towards? Do we have a TikTok star? Is someone hiding on Facebook? I'd love to know what your main character would pick. Marlene, can we start with you?
I would have to say Instagram.
Why would she pick Instagram?
I would pick Instagram just because Tansy kind of finds out some stuff about the vampire band through their Instagram feed. So be careful what you post on Instagram because people can find out a lot of stuff. And that was actually because my neighbor was saying that some teenagers that we know were posting very explicit stuff on Instagram, and they had no idea that like their parents knew what their Instagram accounts were because they were like, oh, my parents don't know what, So anyway, I'm just saying like Tansy would be all over Instagram because she'd be trying to find out what was going on with the band.
Awesome. Grace, where would Pamela be found? Or, I'm sorry, I said Grace, where would Pamela be found? Pamela, where would Grace be found?
Actually, in the story, she references social media and she hates it, But if she had to choose, it would probably be Instagram because it's posting, it's visual, it's posting pictures, and she could, post pictures of her friends, and when they go to the bonfire, she could share, highlights, from that scene. So it's not something where she would have to pour out her heart. she could get her point across through visually. So that's probably what she would choose, Instagram, which is probably, I prefer Instagram also. So
Do you find that you have a lot of similarities with Grace, Pamela?
yes, I do. She's one of the things that we share in common is that we don't quit, and we seek answers. If we have a problem, we are constantly looking to a way to solve the problem. We're both of us are just, she's like a real person to me. That's why, these characters, they become, real. And Grace is, like someone that's real to me. And so, like me, she's looking for a way, to gain control of her life when it deals with the depression. And, I've always been someone that, I don't take no for an answer. I always go and I try to find, if someone says I don't know, I, I go and I try to find my own answer. And that's probably, I'm ex-military. So one of the things that they always told us, never say no. It was always, I don't know the answer now, but I'll find out and let you know later. So I think that's became ingrained in me, and it's, Grace, that quality kind of snuck into the character to where she's always looking, and her environment speaks to her. She, even in, music, if she hears something, a song that relates to her, and, she uses that to get her through the day, or she's always, looking for the friend. The friend can say, let's do something. And she uses that to get through another day. So it's, she's just, I don't like to say that you write yourself as the character, because then you tend to write the same character over and over and over, and no one really wants to do that. But this character, Grace, there is more of me in her than any of the other characters that I've written. So I can really relate to a lot of what she's going through and how she's approaching it.
Wonderful. Cookie, let's hear from you. What social media platform would your main character gravitate towards?
Well, in the story, Ariel Cupcake is a vlogger, so I think she'd be on YouTube. She would have like a baking channel that's followed by several people, and you make her, treats, and then you eat them, and then like, But anyway, that's what she wants to do with her life, is be a baker. So, yeah, so I'd say YouTube, possibly TikTok, because that's like the new thing now. But like Pamela said, it's funny because she actually embraces social media, and Sally from Adorkable really did not like social media like at all. So they're very different in that way. Like, so anyway, but yeah, that's what she would do.
Awesome. And how about you, Sharina?
Yes. So Raven, she would definitely use Twitter and probably protected tweets. She just would lurk and look at other people's stuff and just say very sarcastic things, but really to herself, like the old man shouting at the clouds. Because she doesn't want everyone in her business, but she still likes to be out there and have a pulse on what's going on. So I think Twitter is like the perfect platform for her.
Awesome. So a reader has asked, if you weren't a writer, what would you do? Maybe we'll start with Pamela on this one. If you weren't a writer, what would you be doing?
Well, I know it would be something physical. And I would probably be in my dream job, dream career, dream life, be a world-class Olympic sprinter. I did enjoy, I excelled at track and field and all the sports, when I was in high school. And so and I do like jogging now. So that's what I would love to have, been able to pursue, and of course, my husband says it's never too late. They do have the little more mature, but that's, world-class Olympics. sprinter. That really speaks to my heart.
Yeah. How about you, Cookie? What would you be doing if you weren't a writer?
This put me on the spot, but I would like to be the like head choreographer for like BTS or Beyonce. I would love to do that. I would say I would like want to be one of their backup dancers or something, but I'm past that age. So I would like to be the choreographer and do something like that. That would be like a lot of fun.
It's still a creative endeavor, right? Choreography, writing, like that still taps into that creative part of your brain.
Yeah, I love dance. I actually am a dance instructor, but as well as a writer. So but yeah, I love dance and I love creative things like you said.
Yeah. Sharina, how about you? What would you be doing if you weren't a writer?
I guess what I'm doing now. I'm marketing. So it's a very boring answer, but digital marketing. But if I had a wish, if I had the talent, I would be a singer for sure. If I had the talent, I do not, but I love to sing. Like, absolutely love it. That's also my Instagram when I'm singing with my son, and I fully recognize that I can't sing. So please be kind.
Do you like singing shows, television shows that feature singers, Sharina?
I was really into Glee for about 3 seasons when that started, and then like American Idol when it first started. But then I felt like it was a little scripted a little bit, so I didn't get as into it. But I can see the appeal to it. But yeah, I just like looking at literally, like a fun activity is just like streaming YouTube and playing all my favorite songs. And I bought my son, a karaoke machine and just getting on there and just singing. So yeah, that's like a good stress reliever too.
Yeah. So you know that begs the question. We have to know what your go-to karaoke song is.
Okay. All right. So two songs. I love Madonna, Crazy for You. It's like one of my favorite songs. It's just, yes. And my favorite duet that I do with my one of my best friends is Ain't No Mountain High Enough with Tammy Terrell and Marvin Gaye. So that's what we like to do. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brittany says I Will Survive is her top choice, and now she wants to come out and sing karaoke.
Let's do it. It's so much. I used to love just going out and doing, booking a karaoke room and just going for it. But
I smell an Entangled teen karaoke party in the works.
Ooh, great.
Yes.
All right, so I hate to interrupt, and we'll come back to you, Marlene, on what you would be doing if you weren't writing. But Jessica says now we need to know everybody's go-to karaoke song. Pamela, do you have a song that you love?
Let's see. I guess I love Tina Turner and Whitney Houston. So those are my two favorite artists. I can't think of any of their songs at the moment.
There's too many good ones to pick, right?
Two favorite artists, and come on, Pam, think of Tina Turner song.
Like Proud Mary?
Huh?
Like Proud Mary?
Proud Mary.
Oh, Proud Mary. I love that with the hair. Yes, every time I do the little head bob that goes along with it. You've got to. And when Angela Bassett played the role of Tina Turner, that was, Tina is my idol. I have three women that I admire as far as celebrities, and Tina Turner, of course, Oprah. I just absolutely love her. And Whitney, she's passed, but she was also one of them that I admired her voice. But music, yes, Tina Turner, Proud Mary, that's one of the greatest songs.
Yeah. Marlene, what's your go-to karaoke song?
I would say it would have to be a Prince song. That would be my
Oh.
go-to.
All right.
But I'll have to interject that I love Lip Sync Battle. Have you guys ever seen that? I love that show. I adore it. It's like so much fun. But I also like Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. And I won't say which kid, but one of my kids thought that Jeff Buckley wrote that, not Leonard Cohen. I had to school her. But I like music from all different generations. So I also like mbop. So that's the wrong question for me because I could probably say about 80 different songs that I would like. But Lip Sync Battle is a lot of fun too. So
Yeah.
How about you, Cookie? What's your go-to karaoke song?
Well, they came up with such good ones. My immediate thing that came to my head was Midnight Train to Georgia by Gladys Knight and the Pips.
Oh, okay.
But I also like I Am Woman by Helen Reddy. And then I also like Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie. And I also like Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. So I think Queen would be a cool one to like
yeah.
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 Great choices.
Excellent choices.
Mhm.
Well, Marlene, let's jump back real quick and find out if you weren't a writer, what would you be doing?
Well, if we could do anything without like talent, I would want to be in a band or I would want to act. But realistically, I would want to own a bookstore or maybe work in a library. That's really lame, I know, but
No.
like
Nobody listening to this chat is going to think that's lame.
because it's like, books. But yeah. Or film, like anything in film is always really interesting to me. So stuff like that. Stories, right? Like any medium that is story.
Yes. Well, we have a few minutes left, so let's do a couple rapid fire questions. We want to know Chicago pizza or New York pizza? Sharina?
Chicago.
Oh,
I'm a Midwesterner. I have to go for. I mean, I grew up in the Midwest, so.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm sadly lactose intolerant, so I haven't had pizza in like 15 years. So, pizza. I can do like a little bit of. I can't do pizza, so it's a mental block for me at this point.
So that was the wrong question.
I know when you said it, I was like, no.
Cookie, how about you? Chicago or New York?
I like the one that we make at my house, but I would probably say New York.
Yeah. And Pamela?
New York for sure. Love the sauce.
Yeah. I feel like people always have strong opinions about pizza, Sharina, so you're allowed to have a non-opinion about pizza.
I used to love it, and then I couldn't.
Yeah. Okay, another rapid fire. Coffee or tea?
Both.
Tea.
Tea?
Tea for me. Tea. Coffee, I do not like.
Coffee all day. I collect mugs too. Yes.
And then mountains or beach?
Beach.
All four of you are beach?
Oh, I'm
No, I
mountain.
kind of like the mountains in the winter when it's snowing. If you rent a cabin and you're in your cabin, big picture window, snow is coming down, you're cocooned in this little wonderland. I mean, that's an ideal vacation for me.
Yeah. So Carla wants to know, what are you currently reading right now? Cookie?
I was just reading the Alana Andrews Kate Daniel series again. I was doing a reread. So I love
that
vampires
series
and all this stuff. I just can't write it. So but I love it.
I love Alana Andrews. The Nevada Baylor. I love that series.
Marlene, what are you reading right now?
I'm reading. Oh my gosh, it's a rom-com, and why do I want to say it has like picnic in the title. I can't remember. I knew I should have looked it up. It's by Amy Reinhardt. Is that how you say that name? I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember. I can picture the cover. It just came out a while ago. And I'm also reading a younger mid-grade novel with my kids. It's called oh my God, I can't remember any titles today.
Okay. Pamela, what are you reading right now?
I can't believe it took me so long to read this, but I'm currently reading The Hate You Give by Angie, I think her last name is Thomas. And it's an awesome story. So that, and of course, anything with Noah Roberts.
Yes.
I'm always immersed in something of hers. I think
Yes.
I just finished her book, Year One. I love apocalyptic fiction also. So that's what I'm reading now.
Awesome. Sharina, what are you reading right now?
So I have 2 books going on. So I got my lovely ARC copy of How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days by Kawana Jackson, K.M. Jackson.
That's a great title.
And I'm super, I just dug into it. And after my deadline, I'm really going to, deep dive into that. And I'm doing a reread of Wings of Ebony. I want to say by J.L. I want to say this the author's name, but it's a young adult fantasy. So I'm reading a rom-com and a young adult fantasy, and I'm really enjoying it.
Awesome. Well, I am really sad to say it, but the time has come to say goodbye. I just wanted to touch base one more time on all of these authors' upcoming releases. Marlene is coming to us first, coming this October with I'm With the Band. And next up, we will have Cookie O'Gorman coming in November with Cupcake. Pamela will be coming with Looking for Grace in October of 2022. And Sharina will have Soul of the Slayer coming with us for winter of 2023. And we are super excited about all of these books.
Yes.
I cannot thank the 4 of you. I cannot thank the 4 of you enough for joining us today. We have had such a good time, and I hope that all of our readers had a great time. And we will be back with you with another live chat in a couple of weeks.
Yes. Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks, Ricky. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.